I wonder, sisters and brothers, what's in my closet, closet, closet? I wonder, sisters and brothers, what's in my closet, closet, closet? Turns out there's a lady in my closet. Turns out she's not really all that welcome. Get out of here. What was the last? What if a lady came out of my closet when I was taking a pee? What if a lady came out of my closet when I was taking a pee? She's not welcome. All right. Red Gaze, what's up, man? Um, Red Gaze, I might send you the link in a second if you're free. I'm going to stream for at least an hour. But we could do, like, I forget what it's called, re go over the kind of funny stream from, is it 2 days ago now, or was it one day? But that was pretty funny stuff. I just played some of the quick, not too much came from the actual song version. It's not even really a song, but there's like a couple limericks or whatever. So part of normal fitness is you got to stretch. So we're gonna do some stretching. But I gotta send the little notification. The purpose is the stream. This stream is for Samurai and Dinosaurs. Just we're gonna kind of give it a shout out and check it out and stuff. I just checked. It's over 9K. It's almost at 9K 200. That's good. That's a good number. But 12K would be perfect. A nice little goal for it for Comicsgate. One thing I was gonna say about that too is when you reach a certain goal, like maybe around 8K or so, anything above that kind of funds the print run and the shipping and stuff. And then things above that like pays rent for the artist for a month if you give them if they are able to raise another $800 or something. So it's a real big difference. And it really is beneficial to these artists. So if we're able to give them that final boost, to kind of free them up, that's how we get the cool projects too. And Smurfy, he's a good member of the community. His wife's really cool too, Selena. She draws the chibi stuff. I've met them both in person because they actually live in Portland. They went through more than me. They went through some crazy shit of getting kicked, like their whole life turned upside down by SJWs because they had friends, in those circles that kind of turned their backs on them. That's another reason to support him. But yeah, Smurfy's got not only Samurai and Dinosaurs, but some other projects. So, just by supporting this, we're kind of supporting him getting that other stuff out there too. He's like a one-man walking comic company. Kind of like Narwhal's like that too, my company. But it's good. Guys, we got 5 people watching. I haven't sent out a tweet yet, so I'll do that in a second. Are there any other competing streams right now? There probably is. But that's cool. Pussy Centipede says, sup, what's up, Pussy Centipede? Angram says, what up? What's up, Angram? Glad to have you. Glad to see you. Glad you guys are here. So so yesterday, was it 20? It wasn't like 24 hours ago though, was it? I'm confused. It was like 48 hours ago. Because it was like late at night. So it was but I got tricked into believing ghosts are real. They came from that closet right behind me. But my only line to kind of explain that is I was super trashed, and drinking, it does just make you stupid. So I was literally just like a dumb caveman, and they tricked me. Like, whoa, a ghost, you guys. I'm a little bit embarrassed. Well, the actual embarrassing part of it was me telling my roommate, because I was excited to tell him that ghosts are real. And he has always been skeptical, and I'm not that skeptical. I'll believe stuff. And so he was judging pretty hard, and that was making me mad. But then turns out he was right, and I was wrong. Red Gaze, it was probably about 36 hours ago. Okay. Yeah, because I kind of slept, 12 hours to get that hangover to go away. I don't want to drink again for a while, except the thing is tomorrow I got a buddy visiting from Texas on his way to Alaska. He's like a real artist type. He like writes poetry. It's like real artist, He writes poetry unironically, and he's living in a van, and I think it's with his girlfriend or wife. He's moving to, I haven't talked to him in a while, and we're not like, I guess we're not super close in that way. Like I don't know who he's dating right now, Texas, but we were best friends in college. So it's one of those things where if I see him I'm sure it'll be like there's nothing, no time change between us. So he's coming through Portland tomorrow, so we're gonna hang out, and so we might have some beers, but maybe I'll try and not drink then too. But then I'm not drinking. And then there's a wedding in June, so maybe I'll drink at that too. But maybe not. Maybe I'll hold off. I got all these negative associations with it from the hangovers, is what really does it. Sometimes you'll embarrass yourself. Like I did drunk message a girl. I don't know if you guys remember on the stream, and I haven't heard back from her yet. But she'll probably just talk some shit. That's kind of what we do. We just talk shit to each other. Kind of goofy style. We got 6 people watching. I still need to send out the tweet, so give me 1 second here. Red Gay says, "Don't be embarrassed." LOL. Red Gaze, do you want the link when I send it in like 10 minutes or whatever? Let me know. I'll might do like a little just mini quick group chat. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Oh yeah. So the other purpose of this stream is I want to try and be a little more what do you say, like direct about trying to grow a couple subs. Well, I just wonder if that works. Sometimes I feel like that's like what something your boy Zach said about his Patreon when he funded Iron Sights with that, and he got to the point where he was kind of just leaving it there because he felt bad just pushing the link too much, but then no one would do it. So then if you actually ask him like a call to action kind of thing, I don't think people really get that like offended by it. It's not really annoying. So the call to action today is Samurai and Dinosaurs and subbing my channel. But I want to, by the end of the year, get to 1,000 subs or something. And I'm always thinking about like what exactly to do to gain subs. But I don't know if one Cecil's been doing those streams with Star Wars Girl. Do you guys see those at all? And the one with Kelsey being drunk, that was hilarious. I just have seen highlights of that. It's so funny, but I want to watch the whole thing. I hope didn't get taken down. But there's that artist in New York that I was talking to for a while, and she hasn't been on Twitter in a while. I wonder if I scared her away because I with like I don't talk about politics too much, like less than most, but I think I was talking a little bit about some pro-life stuff because you guys remember that was big in the news a few years ago. It was just in Comicsgate that we were saying like we definitely don't want to be alienating anyone. So yeah, I wonder because it can be like hot lava if people aren't kind of ready for it. If you're kind of like liberal, then it's like these opinions are like hot lava to you. It's good to get desensitized. That's what I say. I had to desensitize my parents because they're super liberal. I was raised liberal. Then I kind of went Trump direction in 2016, got red pilled, as they say. And my parents, they couldn't really go SJW, even though that might have been their instinct because I'm their kid, So they kind of they didn't like start loving Trump or anything, but they just realized not to judge all Trump Trump voters or whatever. They don't have Trump derangement syndrome. But yeah, as far as you don't want to alienate anyone, but I think it's okay to talk, especially on the live streams. They're a little more personal. On Twitter, maybe it's kind of more out there. Anyone can retweet it, anyone can see it, so you don't want to be too crazy with that. And that was what all the last few days there was some drama with that about Mike Miller and Pride Month and stuff. But then he'll do his streams where it's literally like a church thing, and anyone who's there is there because they want to see it. But one thing I was gonna say, yeah, is like I was trying to define like it's good to get kind of desensitized, kind of de-radicalized to that's kind of the point where you can say opinions on stuff, but you're not like shaming the other side. That's kind of a good balance. Sometimes people will shame the other side. I'm not into that. As long as I'm not doing that, I think I'm okay. That's the balance I was thinking. Oops, I tweeted without posting the link. I'm gonna delete that tweet. Hold on, I'll catch up with the chat in just a second. What can we do? We can do maybe some skits or something. There's been talk of doing a narwhal album, people are joking, and some narwhal shirts. Like I could do this eventually because I got a comic in August, but it could almost be, this is one idea. It could be like an Indiegogo, but the thing is the audience might be way smaller, but it could be just like a small Indiegogo. And it would be for shirts, an album, and the album would have skits on it too. So and maybe the bonus would be a B-side album. So the B-side albums are like just recordings of the actual YouTube streams. The album is remastered songs, maybe with even a few more instruments or drum beats or whatever, and then skits in between. And I could have people come on and record the skits with me because we've been doing a few of those. Like I got an idea for a skit. It'd be like two guys, they get home to their apartment, and then one guy, he's like he trips and he's like, my ankle, dude, ow. And they're like, oh, dude, are you okay? And he's like, dude, just go on without me, man. I'll be fine. The guy's like, our apartment's right here. It's just literally, it's like 10 feet. We got the door. No, man, go on without me. Actually, do you think, I'm kind of hungry. Do you think you could like make me a grilled cheese sandwich? All right, sure. I'll get you a sandwich. All right, just wait here. I'll be right back. And then the guy gives him a sandwich. He's like, dude, do you think, oh man, can you get the pillow from my room? Just go on without me. It's like, okay, I'll get you a pillow and a blanket. But really, it's just 10 feet right here. You should get back to the apartment. Thanks, man. Oh, you know what? Do you think you could like get an extension cord and plug in the TV out here for me? Oh man. Go on without me. Okay, I guess. Oh, dude, do you think you could call your girlfriend? I kind of like her. And it'll just keep going like that. That's actually really stupid. Okay, waiting this out again. Working? Okay. Live now. Yeah, man. We'll take a look at the Sam and Din page in a second. Sam and Din. Right behind me is the closet that the ghost comes from. It is creepy. I'm now pushing Sam and Din. And that's all I need. Wheat. Okay. What do we got? 9 people watching. Thanks for joining if you're here. Say hi if you're in the chat. Doc S says, Narwhal, what's up? What's up? El Gargo says, told you should have kissed the New York girl. You can't do long distance kisses. She's gone forever now. No, but I just messaged her so it's been a month, but I was thinking, I was seeing like, Cecil's doing these streams with that Star Wars girl. That's like a good model for growing your channel. People love videos kind of goofing around with pretty ladies. So I'm going to ask, I was like, what's new? Want to stream soon? Because we were streaming. I just haven't talked to her in a month. But again, I think she might have like seen me state some right-wing opinions on the stream. And maybe that's like hot lava to her. Hopefully it's not though. I don't care too much about that stuff I was saying. Like I'm getting more de-radicalized. She kind of is part of that. I just don't, and seeing other people like seeing the inverse is kind of like Doug on Twitter lately. Like that, that makes me want to not make sure. Note to self, don't do that. What else? Red Gay says, I wasn't sure if you sent that or not. Are you talking about the link? I'll send it. Oh yeah, it says sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll send it in like 10 minutes or something. I just want to get through the stuff that I can do myself first and then invite some people in. Engram says, all those topics are touchy no matter what. Yeah, it's true. Michael Beacon says, you should surprise everyone one day by having someone walk out of that closet midstream. I thought about that. I don't really have the resources. Otherwise, I totally would prank you guys again. Maybe when you least suspect it, I'll try and do that. Somewhere around here, I have my wig. I forgot about my wig. I could have someone in a wig come out of there. Is it an old lady or a man in a wig? Nobody really knows. But she sits back there. Don't misgender her. She's an old lady or a man with a wig. You should stream with Falling Into Destiny. Text. Yeah, maybe Falling Into wants to hop on a stream. Got 10 people watching. All right, I'm going to pull up the Samurai and Dinosaurs. So the story here is it's at 9K 200 last I checked. And they want to get to 12K. 12K, and that'll put a little gallery of commissioning some artists to draw some samurai. And I'm one of the artists they're going to commission too. So I'm interested in that as well. I think that'd be really fun. I want to draw some samurais, get it published in that book. But that book looks really cool. It's like, you know, a full story, 120 pages. I think it includes the prequel, which is that's cool too. So that boosts the page rate. And it's kind of a cartoonist style, you know, like like I don't know if you could use the word artsy fartsy, but that's in a good way. It's kind of this pocket of Comicsgate, you know, like this cartoonist pocket. Back in the day, Doug TenNapel responded to it. He was like, "This is cool. This is great." So it gives you that idea. It's definitely kind of up my alley too. Like I like the Earthbound stuff, and then Narwhal stuff, and then like Samurai and Dinosaurs. We're kind of in this pocket of a little more cartoonist rather than super pro badass beating Marvel at their own game. That's kind of like what Graveyard Shift is, some of those high profile ones. And obviously, you know what project's doing great and just looks great is Monster MD. I want that one to keep going up too, and it will. I think hopefully it at least hits 40K, you know. Kind of when you look at there's a little bit of like a meritocracy within Comicsgate where you can like see what other projects have made and kind of rank them in your head and sort of dispassionately because we like all the books and it's all there's like a friendly competition, but you can kind of feel like, you know, Monster MD might be better than certain ones, you know. Like for example, I'll tell you one Monster MD might feel like almost like equal to me as far as like high profileness would be like Brutus or something. And I think Brutus is 40K right around there. So you kind of hope that if Monster MD might feel like it's underperforming if it doesn't reach 40K. And then it might feel a little bit, at least for a little bit, like it's overperforming if it goes above 40K. But of course, that's great. You know, want that. We want that to happen. Right. Search. So the other night when I was streaming, I was just doing it through OBS, and that makes the frame rate way better for some reason. If I go through Google Hangouts, it's a crappy frame rate. But then if I go through Google Hangouts, I can let other people in, which is cool. So we'll do that in a second. Falling Into says, "I'm late." No, you didn't miss much. We were just talking a little bit about the other night that how hilarious it was though. Well, at my expense, but it was super funny. But I was telling you guys the only thing that was kind of negative about it, because it's actually hilarious with all you guys. I love that. But is with my roommate, I'm embarrassed because I immediately ran to him as soon as he woke up and I was like, "Go surreal, man, go surreal." And I was like drunk, you know, wasted. And he was like kind of annoyed, rightfully so. And then that made me mad because I was like, "Dude, you're wrong. How can you not see it? Go surreal." And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I had to apologize to him later." Okay. About to show Samurai and Dinosaurs page. We're gonna push it. Someone should I forgot to at Smurfy and Tinfoil Hat. I'm gonna do that. Tinfoil Hat Nick wanted to maybe hop in here, and Smurfy did. But the way I usually do it is if you pop into the chat, I can send you the link. Oh, I can't go at Smurfy. What is it? S TV mic. Okay. At. And we can maybe play a little guitar later too. I don't know. Okay. I searched Sam and didn't come up. Hold on. Here we go. So one thing too, it helps with campaigns. You can kind of schedule pushes within the campaign. Like usually when it ends after 30 days, and then when it ends in demand, there'll be pushes for each of those, and everyone can kind of get behind it. People like it. But Samurai and Dinosaur has an interesting timeline for the pushing, because it's pushing right now because they want to reach a certain stretch goal, that because they need time to hire the artist to do the gallery before it goes to print. So it's gonna go out of um in demand in like a month, but they got like 2 days or so to raise, little less than 3K, and we'll see if they do it. It's like this back in the day, this used to be the kind of thing like Ethan can maybe pull it off. And that's great, but we don't always want to depend on Ethan or bug him, and we can sometimes do it ourselves, which is that's the greatest when the community is kind of centralized to the point where we do have this network to be able to help each other. And then, yeah, like I was saying, when it all settles, you hope that the amount raised is representative of, that it's going to help the artist. As I was saying too, especially at 8K, when you go above that, it's kind of all profit at that point, mostly. And so that really helps the artists. So we're helping them. That'll like pay their rent, We want to do that if we can for a little bit. But yeah, so the other thing to talk about today, guys, is I want to grow my YouTube channel, and I'm willing to do almost anything. I'm willing to clown myself out to the nth degree. Probably more when I'm drunk than when I'm sober, but I think I was trying to remember some of the stuff I said when I was wasted on that stream. I think I said some ridiculous shit. I know the message I sent the Spanish girl was ridiculous. Oops, what am I here? Okay. Oh yeah, so here we go. Samurai and Dinosaurs. I'm gonna check in with the chat here. In like 5 or 10 minutes, I'll send some links out. Guys, thanks for hanging out. 12 people watching. Redgate says Brutus is about 37K. Falling Into says I had nothing to do with it. Falling Into, you're joking. I was wondering because you could have been like you missed it too, and you and me were both. Maybe you got pranked too, but maybe that'd be kind of, that doesn't make sense. Vince Rush says, "Yo Narwhal, what's up, Vince? Vince, I can send you the link too. Let me know if you want in. I'll send you the link." Tinfoil Hat says Friday's the deadline. Mike Murphy, what's all this now? LOL. Cool. Tinfoil Hat and Mike, I'm gonna send you guys the link in a second. And Red Gaze and Vince if you want it. And Graham and Falling In too. If you guys want in, let me know. I'll let some people in. I was saying earlier, if I'm trying to grow my channel, honestly, I think one of the like models that seems to work is you got to stream with a girl, and then because everyone likes to have their internet crushes, so you get a girl on your stream. That's the Cecil and Star Wars girl model. But if I do that with like Angram or Falling Into, it means Star Wars girl is going to hate you guys. There's going to be a cat war between all the girls that Comic Skate has internet crushes on. And I don't know where Cecil will fall in on all that. Vince Russ says, "Go Filthy Frank style, man." Oh, dude, I speak Spanish. I would have been useful. Oh, that's funny. Red Gaze says she claims she missed it. That's funny. She says, "Yeah, I totally fell for it because I've gone through that supernatural stuff." Yeah, that's hilarious because that would have helped trick me more if because the things you were saying, they were hilarious. Like, I mean, they're like, they were very serious, very in earnest, or they seem that way to me. Like you were the one you were telling me we were saying like prayers. And that got into the song too. Like what I forget what the actual line from the song is, but it's like, "Get out of my room in Jesus' name. Get out of my room in Jesus' name." People says, what am I missing now? Nothing, dude. We're just pimping Samurai and Dinosaurs. So if anyone here hasn't backed Samurai and Dinosaurs, consider it. We want to try and make a dent if we can. Like there's a little bit of a, like, I don't know. There's like this Comicsgate thing, you know, where we help each other. We want to help this kind of. Oh well, so but basically that idea too is, and this is kind of a broader thing. This channel is just a small part of this, but it's good if we can make a dent without Ethan's help. Even though, because Ethan, he can help. He already helped a bunch on this project, which is awesome. But we don't necessarily want to bug him, even though he's like open and cool and into it. But it's like you want him to not be like tied down to have this pressure to always have to perform and help. We want to be able to do that without him. So as you can see, the great Comics Kelsey cover here. And the book, yeah, it's like 120 pages. It's kind of cartoonist style, cool story. Yeah, really cool cartooning. Interesting behind the scenes story though is this artist, he cut ties too because of Comicsgate. But all this, like the way it affects your life negatively like that, if it does, like if you live in Portland and lose some contacts or whatever, we want to help people even more for that reason. We really want to help Mike and his wife. Yeah, look at this great cartooning. All right, let me see. I'm going to send the link here. Mike, are you free to stream in a little bit? Mike says, yeah, I'd welcome Ethan's help, but it would be cool to clear it on our own. Falling Into says, well, if you had a spirit and didn't know about it, it's definitely gone. Demon Busters. Nice. Yeah, we got to clear it. My room feels fresh. Except I got to do a load of laundry, so it doesn't feel that fresh. As far as clothes go, my room is not fresh. But as far as demons go, my room is fresh. Tinfoil Hat says, Narwhalology. Yeah, that could be another thing. So, tell me, guy. He says, yeah, I can stream for Al. Okay, I'm gonna send the link. Let me see. This will take a second. So while I do this, I'm sending it to Nick too. Yeah. So anyway, I kind of think that's a funny idea. This, if I did a narwhal merch Indiegogo, or maybe just put the merch up for sale. I'm curious what you guys think when you pop in. This is another thing we can kind of talk about. But imagine if there was like a skit or like an album of remastered songs that are a little more work and a little more full lyrics to them, and skits in between the songs, and then a shirt. And that's the thing. And then you can level it up by getting a B-side CD, which is just recordings of the original skits and songs from YouTube, and maybe another shirt. And you know, like it'd be like $40 for the first tier for the album and the shirt, and then like $60 for 2 albums and 2 shirts or something like that. And that's all it would be. And I wonder, you know, like maybe 10 people might. That's the thing. It's like people express interest. They're like, dude, I'd do it. But it's like 10 people would, and that's the only people that would. And that's okay. I mean, then it would raise $600 or something. So maybe if I set the goal for like $1,000. But if timing's a thing too. Like if you wait, like say in a year, or like after Earthbound fulfills, the Narwhal brand will be a little bit more out there. People will have read it and be looking forward to the sequel. Then Foreign Agents coming out, people will be excited about that. So then it'd be a little more out there. Maybe then would be like the time to launch some merch. But also it could be now-ish too. Who knows? Let me see. Nick Murphy. Nick. Red Gaze. Oops. Sorry, 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Adding. Okay. And I'll check to see who else wants in too. But this is kind of the new system I've been trying. Speaking of like sort of growing the channel, is longer streams, and I kind of just invite people in from the chat, and they get sort of higher views because people just come in, say hi, and leave. And they'll stay if something funny's happening. And a lot of we'll try and do funny stuff a lot. Sometimes it's downtime like now, or I'll just be talking, running my mouth. But so people they come in and yeah, you can get some subs that way too because you get eyes on it when you're live. It's like an early stage. That's an okay way to grow your channel, but um, I wonder what to do to grow it more. Like obviously, I think you got to do actual like edited, curated content like about culture war stuff. Maybe that's what Cecil does. Cecil's almost at 10K subscribers if he hasn't passed it already. He said he's going to launch a book when he hits 10K. I'm curious about that. He's a hilarious person. All right, let me see. Okay. Sending the link now. And I'll catch up with the chat. But yeah, you have these little events. 16 people watching. Thanks for joining, guys, if you're here. So you have these events that happen once in a while on the streams. And so like they're like sort of historic. Like the event yesterday or 2 days ago was hilarious, where I got tricked into thinking there's a ghost in my room because I was so drunk.
That was good. That was so good. I laughed a lot at that this morning. Thank you for that.
No problem. Is that you, Nick?
Yeah, man.
Cool. Nice to see you. I think we haven't streamed before. I'm turning your voice up a little
No,
bit. All right.
yeah, thanks. I'm doing a mobile, so I may sound a little low, but yeah, this is the first time I've ever been on with you, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a channel or anything? Nick, do you have a YouTube channel? Nick, can you hear
I
me?
think you there. You're there, Nick.
Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2.
Can you hear me, Narwhal?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mike.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, good to see you too, Mike. I see you're in here.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. How you been?
Good. Yeah, it's been a good little bit since we've streamed. My channel's sort of changing formats a little bit. I haven't done a kids table in a while, but we've still been pushing indie books, but we're kind of just doing on these longer streams. Kind of people
Right,
hop
right.
in and do it. And honestly, I think we might get more outreach with that because on a longer stream, I've mentioned this before. It's kind of like the format, but people hop in and hop out. But you'll have 150 people go through, and we're kind of so for this one, we're shouting out Samurai and Dinosaurs. It's in the description, and we're kind of talking about it. So that would be
Well,
150 people get their eyes on it, kind of.
yeah,
And
yeah. Well, thanks very much, man. That's very kind of you.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm always curious. It's still for me too a little bit like measuring, because we tried this with Super Harem and it worked for what it was. Like I think we raised over that period we raised 500 for Super Harem.
Right.
And it's like you don't know if how directly those sales because it might just be like in that time frame other people are getting referred from Twitter and other stuff too. So it's
Hmm.
like while we're streaming it goes up, but it definitely helps. Streams in general, it seems like that's kind of like the way to go. Like if you want to do grassroots, get your book out there, you got to get on the streams.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think I mentioned this on Twitter earlier today. Like I'm basically going to be streaming every day this week.
Yeah,
Uh,
nice.
like I'm good to be on with you for a while, and then around 7, I'm going to be doing the Brendan stream. Uh, I think he's calling it the Social Justice League. I don't know. We're still figuring out a name for it.
Nice, nice.
And yeah, like I'm gonna be on with Peter Samedi tomorrow, and yeah, like stuff planned out for the whole week.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. You're going to be on with Samedi. He's got a decently big channel, doesn't he? And do you know how many people does he have when he goes live? How many people?
I'm not sure on that info, but I do know that he has a pretty good outreach when it comes to those live streams.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now we got 17 watching. Thanks so much, everyone. That's kind of like right around my average that I like. And I was telling people it's almost like at 8 or it even kind of happens at 2. Like YouTube is this funny beast, but you start to get like endorphins like from it. So whatever, it can be addictive. And
Right.
I was thinking this is like could be like a Black Mirror dystopia, but you could imagine if like what if everyone in the chat is just bots and the 16 is just a number and I'm just like captive by robots just keeping me entertained because I think I'm slowly building an audience online, but really it's not.
Oh, dude, this is all Black Mirror shit. Like we're living in that show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me see. Arch City says Legion of Social Doom. Arch City, I'm gonna try and add you to the hangout here. Let me see. Falling Into says I really would buy it. Okay, so that's one person for some merch. Like I could try a Twitter vote too. I wonder polls on Twitter are interesting and you'll get more votes than you have followers because people it's fun to vote for people, I think. I think people like clicking on voting stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed
Can
that
we hear
too.
me now? Can we hear me now?
You're
Yes.
really quiet.
Yeah, you're kind of quiet. Check, check. Sorry we missed you there for a little bit, Nick.
Oh no, it's okay. It's my phone. I'm having to stream this on my phone, and sometimes my phone likes Hangouts, and sometimes it doesn't.
Oh yeah. Well, so Nick, you kind of got this thing going, especially on Twitter, where you're kind of the number one cheerleader. Like you're almost like an individual indie cron on Twitter, where you post. How many do you shout out every day? Like 10 or 20 even? Or
Right now I am pushing 18.
okay, cool. So that's like a good that's a good measurement too. Like, IndieCron has like live campaigns and like Nick kind of is aligned, doing that too. So there's these different sources where people can know what's up. And I am curious about that too, about Twitter versus YouTube. And if there's overlap, if you're trying to raise money, you can do a little bit on Twitter, maybe more on Twitter, more on YouTube. I think YouTube is like works better, but it is also harder. That's kind of the idea I got, but I'm not sure.
Uh, I would say that like I don't know. They're both two different sides of the same coin. If you really look at it, because it's both social media, it's all about just getting the books out there in front of people. And it's it's not just me who's out there doing a lot of this promotion. It's people who retweet. Retweets are so important when it's on Twitter, and it's like when people share the link and everything with YouTube somewhere else. I mean, they literally are different sides of the same coin. It's just a different way of going about it. Some people who haven't had good experiences on Twitter hate Twitter. They'll say Twitter is dead and all this other stuff, but it's just all depends.
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing too is like so people see the link going through their timeline. You might only click on it like the 10th time you see it go through your timeline. It's kind of weird how that works, but you that's kind of what you want. You want like views on your campaign page, kind of like. And then the other thing, they'll sometimes click and look, but once in a while it might be like the third time they check, then they'll actually like read some of the description and look at some of the art and stuff. Like sometimes I'll click in just to see where the funding's at because I'm kind of curious about that. um I don't know, you can use tricks like building intrigue for them to click the link. I was just thinking about that because you can be like when you're mentioning where the funding's at and what it needs to get at, a lot of times people want to click in just to see and double check for themselves if it's gone up, since they last looked at it. um
Yeah, and plus two with the sorry, that was my dog.
oh yeah.
Plus two with the algorithm and the way the timeline stuff works on Twitter, you can you can have someone who's been following you for like 2 or 3 years. Like this just happened like a day or two ago. Someone wrote to me privately and was like, I didn't even know that you were running a campaign. I just saw it in my timeline now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it slowly trickles in. Well, part of that too is Comicsgate is slowly growing. Like people come into it. Some people jump into Twitter for the first time from YouTube because Twitter's kind of like the hub of activity for Comicsgate, but well, outside of Ancillary 2 and kind of orbiting YouTube. And I guess like Ethan's one kind of centralization point of that, but
Right.
there is like, I don't know, Cecil does great streams. There's my channel. So there's like 20.
Malin.
Yeah, there's like 20 to 50 channels, maybe. It could be as many as 100 even. And people kind
Hmm.
of choose, like, they kind of pick and choose, but you'd be surprised how much content people can watch in a day because people often are multitasking. So they might need like if they're doing a work day, they're working from home, they need 8 hours of live streaming, and they'll stay up with everything that's going on.
Yeah, like for me, like my average work day, like if I'm like lettering and coloring stuff or like just doing like simple design stuff for like a client, like I'll just set up like whatever Rogan put out for the day, and then I'll just run through all the Comicsgate stuff, and that'll take me through about 8 hours.
Yeah,
Easily. I mean, you can do that in no time at all.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. There's always these little mini kayfabe narratives, or sometimes it's like a borderline actual drama, and then that's kind of we don't like that as much. Like recently with Doug and
Right.
Mm.
Mike, I guess Doug was the one who's kind of being extra drama-y. But then I kind of like that Cecil is poking pretty hard fun at him. I don't know. Did you guys see the picture he put the what's it called? The soy boy drawing that Ethan did over he's photoshopped it over Doug's face.
Right, over
Yeah,
the
I've seen that.
American
Yeah,
Beauty photo.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me see so guys, we got 20 people watching. Thanks so much for joining. Also, sub my channel if you're new here. We got a nice little fun community. We goof around a lot on my channel. So, and I got just last night, I don't know if Nick saw it. I don't know if you saw it, Mike, but got home from a night of boozing with my roommate, and I was like, I'm going to hop on a live stream. Cecil's been known for this too. Like a night after drinking, you can hop on a little live stream. It's kind of fun, you know?
Right.
But so I ended up going for kind of a long time, but it's late at night, so not too many people are watching. It's like eight people, 6 people around there. But Alejandro was there, and for him it's the daytime. And so I missed this, but I went to pee, and then he said, let's say that someone's in his room or something like that. And so when I'm peeing, so people start telling me like someone came into your room when you were gone. And I like totally believed them. But then I checked the front door and I'm like, the front door's locked, you guys. I'm like, what do I use for a weapon? I grab a beer bottle. I'm like, I guess I'm going to use this beer bottle. I need to get a knife.
When did the idea to sing to the ghost come into your mind? I want to know what was going on there because that was quite funny.
Oh, yeah, that I forget. I just do that on my live streams a lot. I do like musical interludes, but I forget why I thought the ghost might work for the ghost. But I think when I was picking it, I did say like I said something like, if I play guitar at the ghost, is that more demonic or less demonic? Like, is this gonna help get rid of it, or is this gonna make it want to stay?
This is giving me a whole bunch of context, man. Like I was going to write you privately because I haven't seen any of it yet, but I was just going to be like, what is with the ghost?
Yeah. Yeah. And then Joe's in the chat. Joe is posted like 3 different memes from it that really make me laugh. So one of them is just a picture of me, and you could see, hold on, let me end my screen share. So yeah, you can see the closet's right behind me. So he photoshopped an old lady into the closet back here. It is just super creepy because you can imagine like if someone came out of that, it would be so creepy because I wouldn't see it until like a 3-second delay or whatever because I'm looking at the video or whatever. It could almost be like a scene from a horror movie.
I swear, if your roommate comes out of that closet or whatever that door is behind you right now, I'm throwing my phone.
I know. You guys got to be on your toes because maybe I have something planned. Someone is waiting back there. But yeah, and then I don't know. Tungsten says Falling Into is a vampire. That's funny. Oh yeah, Falling Into is always awake at night. She works at nights, I think. Star Storyteller says, if you need a broad, DM me. Just stream, not anything else. That's funny. Yeah, I'll add you, Star Storyteller. But Angram says, I seen those memes and I just assume what happened. I think I assumed correctly. Yeah. Yeah, so there's another meme of me holding a cross and like being like the power of Christ compels you. And I was literally
Yeah, it's from The Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's literally the priest from The Exorcist with your head on it.
And this is so Falling Into, she claims that she missed that message from Alejandro too. We're not sure if she's joking also, but it's hilarious. So she and I maybe both got kind of pranked and we are both taking it kind of seriously. So we were like saying prayers and she was saying like, invoke Jesus' name to make it go away. So I walk up to the I walk up to the closet and I go, I got goosebumps, guys. It gave me goosebumps. And I go, like, in the name of Christ, be gone. And I start karate chopping at at the empty closet.
Silly.
Chris Evans says
That
that's a
was
good meme.
Yeah, that is a good meme. I thought it was funny that Donald DeLay was in on this. I mean, that's right up his alley, but that was good.
Yeah, yeah, he popped in towards the end. Well, the thing that too that's just kind of weird about it. So, uh, I don't know, like the stream ended up being 5 hours, and I'm not sure how long the ghost episode was total, if it was 1 hour or 2 hours, but I was just hanging out drinking beer, and I already been drinking that night, so I was like three sheets to the wind. I was very hungover the next day.
Mm-mm-mm.
He says it was a sight to behold, LMAO. Yeah, I think I kind of been doing this thing where I kind of quit drinking for like 3 weeks to a month, and then I'll kind of do guilt-free drinking for a period. And I don't know. So I'm kind of like the kind of guy, if I have one beer, then I'll want two. If I have two, then I want three. And it kind of just goes until I pass out, and then I'm hungover the next day no matter what. And so that's why I don't like doing it too much. But like, yeah, it's fun to kind of stream when I'm drunk once in a while. I wonder, it's a little bit of playing with fire, because you don't want to embarrass yourself too bad, but it's also pretty funny. That's kind of a high watermark for the potential to embarrass yourself, but it actually went. I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think back to some of the Cecil and Kelsey streams.
Yeah, yeah, like,
Yeah.
but well, and Cecil, he will often take down streams the next day, and yeah,
Yeah,
even this one, I ended up taking it down just because think I remembered some stuff. I was like, there was even like a little bit of trash talk, like drunken trash talk, which was funny, and especially in the moment. But I'm like, I don't want that public. And you can't go by those rules as you're streaming. It's fun to cut
right.
loose, but then you got to take it off later.
Exactly. Yeah, I sat in on I think each of those streams that he's done with Kelsey so far at least, and yeah, it really is a good thing that he took all of those down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the some of the gets clipped, and the clips are so funny. Kelsey is like the funniest drunk guy ever. He's like
He's the best.
yeah. It makes me wonder, like so he was, he's been like that outside of the internet his whole life. So he was hanging out with kids in high school. He's probably the funniest guy at a party in high
Exactly.
school or something. And I don't know, that the thing about that too is it can develop over your whole life, this personality that you build subconsciously. Some of it could be conscious, but you kind of create this persona, and it can be this drunken persona, but he's kind of a little bit of definitely like an entertainer. He knows what's funny.
Right, right.
Yeah, and I think him and Cecil they've got a good chemistry and mix, so they got a good.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Because Kelsey's high energy and Cecil's a little more relaxed and chill. And
Yeah.
even drunk, Cecil kind of controls his words a little more.
And then they'll bring in Malin to be the straight man.
Yeah, yeah. Malin's great too. And Malin has jokes. It's like his brand of humor. It's really funny too. But it's kind of like a little bit like curmudgeon old man or whatever. But
Yeah, he's
Oh
like his
yeah.
sense of humor is like super dry, but he's hysterical.
yeah, his tweets are really funny too.
Yeah, totally.
And that definitely helps like business, and it helps, yeah, like sell comics. It helps grow your channel. Yeah, because Malin's interesting because for his channel, I think he does some edited stuff, but he mostly does Comicsgate Presents, which is this almost like a service, but it does help his channel a little bit. Well, we're gonna get to see kind of, he's testing this model of sorts where he's growing his channel by helping other people. That's, in some ways, that's kind of what I'm doing too. But then when you launch your own campaign, this whole platform you've built, you get to use it to help yourself. And so he's going to get to do that with Graveyard Shift 2 in
Hmm.
July. And I'm kind of curious where that one ends up, because the higher tier ones, they're breaking six figures, all of them, but they have kind of a friendly competition too. And you're kind of wondering where they'll land in regards to each other. And I think with Comicsgate, it does seem to be almost exactly 50-50 the product and then the personality. That's how you sell comics. So like if the personality is lower but the comics higher, like that might be, for example, no digs, but what the ferryman, that's kind of his reputation is he's not the greatest on live streams, not the biggest present on YouTube or even Twitter necessarily, but then the book's great. So
Yeah,
then
yeah.
so that's one like thing. And then you might have someone with a great personality and then the book's like a little more on the indie scale to the pro scale, a little more indie. And then that's one. And then if you got both firing on both cylinders, then you're gonna get a boost from that, you know.
Yeah, and I think what we're finding as we head into like year two of this and, you know, eventually year three, I think what we're finding is like people who are better marketing their books, other people's books, people who are better at just focusing on the content itself. Like, I think eventually we're going to hit this happy balance of like everybody knows their strengths and weaknesses and everybody helps each other out, like where they're lagging.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing, yeah, because with everyone being surrounded by each other, we're all getting a sense of the business plan that works in unison, kind of learning from each other's mistakes as we go. But also, artistically, people are challenging themselves to improve more and more, and even like writing or whatever. And yeah, the projects that are coming out are they're gonna get better and better, like almost like mathematically that's true, the audience is going to keep growing. But I think there will be some interesting reckonings coming up where we might make a more formal challenge to the mainstream, where with that's already sort of happening, but like it could be like when books are starting to really fulfill and really be super high quality and the stories. Because one thing I've noticed with comics is like you can release the first book if it's 48 pages, say it's it doesn't people don't know that much about it. Like when you finish the story, say 200 pages in by volume 4, if people are doing that, that's when people will start to know like, oh, this is like a borderline masterpiece or whatever, you know.
Right. Yeah, like that's been something that's been on my mind for a while. Like I know right now Comicsgate is in the phase of like just focusing on like pure entertainment, right? Like capturing that market of people who are like, I just want to have fun with comics again. But like what I'm waiting for is for that next wave of people who are like, no, I legitimately want to produce like, you know, not to be too much of a dick about it, but like a legitimate piece of art, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's
No,
a
I
worthy goal.
I get that. I mean, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because there's gonna be some one shot out there that just takes off like that. I mean, that's the law. The law of large numbers says that that has to happen.
Right.
Um, so I don't think that's going to be. It's not a matter of if more as it is when. And like with us going like comics get going after mainstream, mainstream's coming after us. I don't know if y'all read about Clover Press and IDW, but they are coming in to try to start crowdfunding
Yep.
their progressive books and everything because they want to be. They've seen all the success that we've had down here, and they are wanting to come in and try to do it. But they're of course going to do it all wrong and screw everything up. But that'll be fun to watch too. You know, we'll get to laugh at them for doing that.
Yeah, we've already had round 1 of that with Deadbeats, you know.
Right.
um
Yeah.
Let me catch up with the chat real quick, guys.
Oh, hey,
Got it.
Norwell, real quick. Adam AF said drop the link back in that room.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'll do that right now. Oh, I guess that's an interesting thing. It means you can't read messages before you enter a room. That's
That is
Huh.
cool.
correct.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Oh, Red Gaze is here too. What's up, Red Gaze?
Narwhal Punch.
Yeah. Red Gaze has one of the best voices in Comic Skate. His star will rise for
Yeah, he
that reason
does.
alone.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Whatever,
Reading
hey
some.
guys. How are you, man?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I
Have
can't complain. I'm gonna have to hop off here in just a second. I got kids going to sleep, and I got to go do that. But I just wanted to come on and say hey and see what was up. Also, Narwhal, about what you were saying about uh, channels and stuff. Simon, Sim, Poitier, myself, Adam AF, and Star a guy named Star have all come together, and we have made a channel where we're going to be drawing and writing, or having writers on, having artists on. We're going to be talking about geek culture and stuff like that.
Cool. That sounds really good. I want to come on that too and join you guys
Absolutely.
sometime.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No problem.
Cool.
And when Adam gets on here, he can probably go into more detail. But I have to get off here. I've got to go put my kid to bed, and then I've got to go have a little family time.
All right. Sounds
Thank
good.
you very much. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for all you do. Tweeting 18 projects a day. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks,
guys.
Nick.
Hi, Nick. Bye,
Well,
Nick.
you guys, hey man, bye,
Have a
man.
good one, Nick.
Hey, you guys just keep making the books, and I'll keep making the tweets. How about that? That sounds like a good deal.
You got it, man.
Okay.
All right, later, y'all.
Later.
See you, Nick. Or yeah, okay. I'm gonna catch up with the chat real quick here, guys. We got
Mhm.
18 people watching. This with these small channels, I try and read every chat, except if people are talking to each other, then I'll try and skip it because then it's just their conversation.
Sure.
But later on, when the channel, I think at 1,000, you can maybe get monetized. Although YouTube's been weird lately. Like they might not monetize me even when the time comes because they'll be like, "You said the word retard on one of your streams or something."
Oh, there it goes.
Oh yeah, oops.
Boom.
Um,
Demonetized.
But if you get like around 1,000, I think you're open for it, and then you can read super chats and stuff, and that's kind of fun. But Jam says, I watch way more YouTube when I work overnights. Yeah, People says, when you told us that you can't believe we're keeping a straight face. Oh, that's funny. And Joe Lucas says, don't forget about the perfectly coincidental camera flickering. Yeah, that was in the song too. It becomes part of the song. I go, stop it, stop every time it flickers. It's kind of funny. Pussy Centipede says it's not a good idea to drink and live stream. You'll end up like David Hasselhoff with his cheeseburger. That's funny. That's like Nasser with his hot dogs or something. Jim Crete says Kelsey's hilarious. You guys watch Blair White? I love her. She's kind of in that pantheon of fun YouTubers. I actually haven't watched much of her. I want to. I've been to studying some of their moves. Maybe I should do a little more of that because I know some of them just do like almost like vlog style. And it's actually pretty interesting or pretty entertaining. Like what do you guys know? Sticks and Hammer 666.
No,
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
He does like a little more political stuff, but he just sits there in front of his camera, and he's a very good developed the skills of like I guess it's like linguist. Like he doesn't say at all, and he just rattles off for like 5 minutes about what's going on in the news, and then he says like, "Oh, that's about it. See ya," and then he gets off. But he has like over 100,000 subscribers, and but it's simple. It's like the lo-fi. For now I like the lo-fi thing if possible. There's almost like a romance to it. You're like, all right, I got a mic, I got a webcam. I don't even have editing software, so we gotta just get in and get out, or I don't know. Spike says Maylock's militia. Arch City says it's like a big confiscate school. That's true, and that's like true. It's so valuable. Everyone's improving. I think we don't realize it, as it's happening. But
But then I followed up with sometimes it's more like a schoolyard and not like a classroom.
Yeah, it can be.
That's true.
But we'll get there.
very true.
We'll get there. There's bound to be some drama on the way to the top.
It's growing pains. Like, just think of the comic industry back in the 30s. Like, people were like going for each other's throats back then.
That's good. That's actually a really good way of putting it. Growing pains. I like that. That's a good positive spin on it.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
that's me. Silver lining.
Yeah. Pussy Centipede says, you guys watch Rambo Ralph for Life? I haven't heard of him, but I'd check it out. I like lo-fi. Yeah, lo-fi. Sam Hyde is good lo-fi comedy. You guys ever see him?
Mm-mm.
No.
He is funny, but so some of what I've seen he does is he did some sort of like stand-up comedy stuff. He wrote for a show. I think he created it. It was on Adult Swim for a while, and it eventually got canceled because he kind of is borderline alt-right, but like in that way, I mean, he's just like us, he's not like Vox Day or anything, but
He's normal.
yeah, he's like normal, but they still call him alt-right. But yeah, his show got canceled. But he did some funny content, but he did one where he printed out this long like essay, and he just read it on stage, but he kind of read it with some verve or whatever, but it really made me laugh. But he said there was a guy in a wheelchair like in the front, and he's like, All right, I'm going to do you a favor, son. I'm going to lie so we can get you in the army, but you got to do something for me. You got to walk again, all right? And I don't know.
Well, I've been meaning to tell you, man. Like, because we haven't talked in a while. Like, your man on the street stuff, I really enjoyed while you were on that kick for like a week or two.
Oh yeah, some of the Narwhal fitness stuff.
Yeah, the Narwhal fitness stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
try.
that's good stuff.
I'll try and do more of that. So yeah, this is all good, like data or input or whatever for what works for a
I
channel.
actually couldn't believe that I watched you like work out for 15 minutes one day. And it was like the full 15 minutes into the video before I was like, why the fuck am I still watching this? But hey,
Because
you
it's
got me.
narwhal, man.
I know. It was compelling. I was drawn to it. I couldn't look away.
That's funny. Falling Into says, "What is this lo-fi you speak of?" Because he's saying, so he's like Andy Kaufman. Maybe that's kind of lo-fi, kind of weird, meta. What we're doing now, a lot of the conversation has been meta, which it's always good to take pause and try and self-reference like what the ways we're raising money and what the future and Cometskate and what it means, what's happening. But yeah, on that note, we're pimping Samurai and Dinosaurs, guys. We got 16 people watching, and we're pimping my channel too a little bit. So sub my channel, guys. I want to grow the subs. However you go about that. I'm at like 430 right now, and I average getting like one a day, kind of.
Hey, that's a steady tick anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something, man.
Yeah. What about you guys? What's been your experience growing your YouTube channel? Do you have any advice or any like mistakes or?
Well, I've just kind of been networking a little bit with some people like the Fandom Collective, that kind of stuff, and just try to play it heavy on Twitter. I've been doing all right lately. This Christian Harloff nonsense that really blew up, and for some reason, yeah, got like 3,000 views on that in the span of a week. I don't know why, but people are really interested. So
Wow.
yeah, you just want to dig for like a hot topic, whether it's stupid or not, I guess, and throw some shit on the wall and see if it sticks.
Gotcha. Yeah, I want to watch that video then that you're referencing because I want to see like, did you like edit it and do commentary, or did you just live stream quickly while reading like an article online? Or
Oh no, there was commentary involved, but I don't think that matters. I think people just wanted to see him acting like a moron on air.
oh, okay, yeah. Wait, so what was it? You did you just clip a live stream then, or was it?
Yeah, it was on Collider Live. He was crying because he didn't get free tickets to go see Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh, gotcha. So that's funny. Yeah. So that's maybe like, like the channel H3H3, they kind of got started by doing reaction videos. Would you call that a reaction video? What you did then there?
Yeah, it was definitely a reaction to his reaction.
Yeah. Like that, those can do well. And those involve trash talk in a funny way. Like, I don't think they're that negative. Like you can get accused of negative, but a lot of it's like fake beef almost, like it's just people realize this is what YouTube's about, is like,
Right.
you kind of just, like, I don't know, some of that's even on Twitter, like, Cecil was cutting deep on Doug. I thought some real deep cuts, but I think they'd still be friends. I'm pretty sure it would actually at that point too, like if Doug got butthurt to the point where he was actually mad, that would only make it worse for him.
I think like Mundane Matt is probably the only YouTuber that ever really got successful by being bland and boring and in the middle on everything.
Oh yeah. There is like, it's like a YouTube circa 2012 or something is like centrist YouTube. That's like, Shoe on Head. Do you guys know her?
Yeah.
And then who's the other guy who, Chris Raygun? So her and Chris Raygun, they're like the ones who are always like, I can see this side, but also can see some of this side. Both extremes are ridiculous, and the center is the most. So they built a huge audience by doing that.
That's true, but at the same time, they're also somewhat entertaining, which Matt is not.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt was always one of those dudes where like I would check out a few of his videos and like you ever just get that thing where you kind of cut through like what a person is trying to present to you and you're like, I don't know that I buy what's going on here, man. Like just something always seemed like kinky about him.
Yeah, it's like you're not sure if he actually believes what he's saying.
Right.
Yeah. Joe Lugo says Narwhal sing more songs. Olo. Hey Joe Lugo, where did you come from? Because you kind of popped into the game, late, but then you're hilarious and you're everywhere. But because you and me, I just like met you a week ago, maybe when I was gonna stream for Super Harem. I think Joe Lugo caught wind of my channel, and then, but Joe's been hilarious. He's been doing all the Narwhal memes lately. And but back to the drawing board says strategies to build subs. Yeah, I need a ton of them. Yeah, back to the drawing board. So here's an example. Back to the drawing board. He and I hang out on streams. His name's Nate, whatever. He's a really good writer. And he draws too. And he's a good artist, but he's a great writer. But anyway, he has a channel and he does these videos and they're like pretty good videos where he's like talking and giving advice and there's kind of a lot of thought put into them, but at this point they don't get that many views, like I don't know, and his channel's kind of small, but so it's like but he's been grinding for like 9 months at least. It's funny, like you can grind almost endlessly if you got, I guess you got to adjust, or like cut back 2 years ago, I did a push on YouTube and I did a ton of, well, not a ton, but I did like 30 videos. A lot of them were like sped up me drawing with commentary over the top of it. So it did take editing and it did take thought of what to talk about. And I would talk about this and that. And like, yeah, like I think I got up to 30 subscribers after doing that for 3 months over the course of a summer. And then once kind of Comicsgate hit and you get on the live streams with Ethan and stuff, then kind of through that, getting into the community that way, my channel started growing. And then I kind of discovered accidentally when I was on with War Campaign that I can be pretty honest and goofy on channels, and people seem to like that. So then I started doing that more on my channel, and then that's kind of become a little bit of my brand. Is kind of, I'm kind of the weird, goofy, almost clown guy, but also kind of honest or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. And it does.
It's funny. It doesn't take much a lot of times to realize you're better off just being yourself than trying to be what you think people want. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's one thing, like if you can do like characters, like DJD's got characters out the ass. Alberto from Alsmat Films, like he does the Road Warrior Drake character. It's absolutely hilarious. If you've never checked his videos out, do so. It's a good time. He did an interview with Nerdette's Newsstand, and I was laughing the entire time.
Nice.
It's like that. It's very heavily influenced by like Space Ghost, like the goofy interviews, like very satirical, over the top.
Awesome.
Nonsense. Yeah, it's a good time. Check him out. Alizmat Films and Comics.
What's it? It's called Matt Films and Comics.
Alizmat. ALAZMAT. Films and Comics.
Cool. Yeah. So there's one thing, like people. Oh yeah. So, like 10 years ago, I did a blog and I did it for like 2 years and it maybe got up to just like 50 posts in 2 years. I'm not sure. But it was called Six Pack Reviews, where I would get drunk and write a movie review. And so it was all just written. And that one too, like it didn't really grow, but then the content was okay. And by the end of those 2 years, you kind of build a little bit of some skill of like trying to be funny or like writing, some goofy drunk stuff. But I think also because it was a different era then, I ended up making that blog. I might have deleted it or made it private because I think there were some jokes. Like I reviewed Ninja Assassin. You guys know that? It's kind of a bad, forgettable movie
Yeah.
So, but that movie is like, it's all lit dark and then it's like ninjas dressed in black and then it's, Asian actors. So they're black hair. And I made a joke that all Asians look alike in the dark or something like that. And I was like, oh, people will say this is racist. I mean, maybe it is. I don't even know. So I deleted it all. Because when you're drunk, you're like, oh, that's fucking hilarious.
But it is.
Yeah.
Like in my experience, I mean, like I'm still trying to figure out like what my quote unquote voice is when it comes to YouTube. Like I think I only have like 35 subscribers so far, and I've been doing this since like the start of the year. I think you just hit a point where like your brain goes, I'm tired of like trying to be formal and professional, and I'm just going to start saying like what's honestly on my mind. And if you can refine that a little bit and just make it somewhat appealing, like that's the point where people start paying attention to what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing too is when you're doing like if you haven't got too many subs yet, but you're making all the videos, that process alone, you don't know it, but you get better at it and you are refining your YouTube personality, like getting that more comfortable, which that might just be a process of getting more comfortable with yourself
Right.
on a mic on a live stream or whatever
Hmm.
and more honest and getting out there more. But then like yeah, like cut forward to a year or whatever, your probability of success is already improved. That's like they say like if you're like your first million's the hardest to make money wise, say, you know, like that metaphor. It's like a millionaire can lose all their money and then they can make back another million kind of quicker the second time because
Right.
they've done it all before. And like so there's secrets we don't really know about YouTube yet. Like and there is something about it where you definitely want to be like pretty much yourself, pretty honest out there. But you want like yeah, like content and what people want. People a lot of times they want something to multitask to in the background. So like live streams work okay for that. They also do like the checking in daily videos. Like Ethan's great at those. Well, it'll just be like a 10 to 20-minute video where it's kind of interesting news that people are interested in what's happening in the culture war or whatever. And then there's a third thing. So this is what I was thinking is like there you can just do straight up reviews. People are interested in that if it's like of the moment, you know. And I might want to
Hmm.
try and do a little bit more of that. And that's obviously like what that's all the biggest channel that started it all, your boy Zach's channel. That's kind of all it was, you know, he reviewed comics.
Did I tell you what though? With reviews, like people do like reviews, but positive reviews get so many less clicks than negative reviews do. Um,
Oh, interesting.
which yeah, which kind of sucks because I mean, obviously there's a certain books that you're like, you really want to promote. Um, so you gotta have to do that in like a satirical way. Like I don't know, you guys know Michael Beacon?
Yeah.
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 Okay, yeah. So he does those SJW Skeletor reviews where he
Right.
reviews Comicscape books like as SJW Skeletor, and it's hilarious. But you still get to see how awesome the Comicscape books are, even though he's joking around and getting you to laugh and making fun of everything too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great little thing he's got going there. I hope that keeps growing. And that's again the thing there too is like if he does 100 of those, like the last 50 are going to be way better than the first 50 and so his channel will naturally grow that way. Like when they get real like solid with the you know, he'll grow in ways he doesn't even foresee, even like joke writing or joke delivery, a little bit better editing, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, practice makes perfect, man.
Yeah.
And something I've noticed that Zach will do in regards to like the whole positive reviews get less clicks. Like what he'll do once in a while is like he'll do two books at the same time, and he'll be like, one of these books is amazing, and one of them is
Yes.
terrible.
Yeah.
And I think he mitigates that lesser view thing by comparing and contrasting and showing people what makes for a good comic versus a terrible one.
Yeah, I think those are the most interesting to watch, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me read a few of the chats here. We got Spike says Adam Does Movies made a hilarious spoof on Harloff's reaction. Well, I want to check that out. Sometimes I gotta take notes and write some of this down. I did one stream where people suggested music to me, and I forget what, but I got one awesome band from that. It worked. Back to the drawing board says Cecil's 90% kayfabe. Sartorio says, "Oh, I think Cecil is the one acting butthurt." That's interesting. I read that earlier, and I was like, you know, you could be right depending on your point of view. I guess that is funny.
Mhm.
That whole like issue, it split Comicsgate so down the middle, which is weird and kind of dangerous, you know, because we don't want to fracture like that. That's why it's good that Mike and Ethan made up. And someone made a good point too. Critias said this, but he said it's like when couples fight, you actually don't want to take sides because you know the couple will get back together. But if you take sides, then anyone that if there's like four friends and two take sides and two take sides, so the couples make up and forgive, but the friends don't at that point where they realize they kind of know where they stand at that point, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Back to the drawing board said, honestly, I found everyone's performance this weekend disappointing. Bankel says Shoes patriarchy character was hilarious. Yeah, back to I want to watch more of her. I forget. I liked her back in the day. Back to the drawing board says, but I have no expectations for Cecil, so he comes out looking the best. Chew gave us the wage gap button, and that alone is worthwhile. Oh yeah, that was funny. Um, Star Story says, is Cecil okay with straight pride? I don't know. We don't have to talk too much about that. So what do we? The best thing about CG is the community interactions and friendships built as everyone grows. I agree. Yeah, like it's sort of like the kayfabe. It's the also just the lore. I was saying that a while ago. Like early on, I think the werewolf thing was kind of early in the lore, and it's kind of stuck. You know, like the wolf's milk with Malin. Like that's hilarious, and that will always be there.
Hmm.
It's sort of like an inside joke. It's not particularly funny, but then the more you know about it, and from the live streams, like they're talking about the werewolf is passed through anal rape, I think is how you become a werewolf.
I think it can be consensual too.
Oh yeah, see that's good. So then that could be where you have like the familiar, or like you have a servant who wants to be a werewolf, so they have to serve you for a set amount of years or whatever. Then you'll turn them one night.
Then you'll put it in.
Yeah. Um, Star says Hero is my latest purchase. I'm looking forward to it. Nice, that's awesome. You got Hero. Star, have you backed Samurai and Dinosaurs? That's a great book too. We're pumping that right now. Everyone in the chat, guys, we got what do we got? We got 17 people watching. Thanks so much for being here. We're pimping Samurai and Dinosaurs, and we're also kind of just talking about YouTube, growing YouTube, and my channel too. And there we were talking a little bit about merch. I want because I'm curious about that. Do you guys have anything you want to like? Have you thought about merch at all for your guys' stuff?
I'm going to be setting up a Teespring store this week, so I can answer that probably better in like a week or two.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't know. It's like it's all interesting, and it's a little bit like, the community, obviously we like comics, and people have income where they have a job, they're not, poor SJWs or whatever. So they have money keeps coming in. So people like supporting artists, they like spending money on it. And I wonder sometimes, like it's almost like getting over like imposter syndrome with selling merch, or like even to some degree there's like that with just comics, like because how much money you raise. Like I remember before Comicsgate, I would think like a campaign that raised 5K, maybe it would blow my mind, and I'd be so grateful that I might cry, which is maybe not like the more realistic when you value your own work, and you realize a little more realistically what people want and what they're willing to pay for. Then you're like, okay, if I can make this a part-time job, I can really dig my claws in, make some good content, and make enough money to kind of go part-time at the deli, and then maybe
Right.
claw up from there even. And it's kind of the same with merch. It's like, shit, who wants to buy merch from little old me? But it's like, well, maybe you can get over yourself and throw it out there.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, and we'll see as we put it out there too. Maybe that's a good way. Just you gotta get some data just by trying. Can't think about it too much. Star Network says, actually plan on doing reviews of every comic I've purchased on Indiegogo, which so far this month is 16. Got 15 more to purchase by the end of the month. Oh wow. So Star, I'm curious for you, did you come into Comicsgate a little bit late, find it late, and then just jump in hard and just want to back everything? Because that's like, you're not alone if you're like that. There's new people coming in every day, every week, and they want to catch up. They're like, what did I miss? Like there's some great books now, but what's been the ones in the past? And there's a metric with that too, is that this, say for Samurai and Dinosaurs, so Mike, say this closes in a month, and say it gets to 12K or whatever, right at the end,
Yeah.
so it's raised 12K, and then say you fulfill, and then there'd be some positive word of mouth, but then it's closed now, so like, and Comicsgate would have grown by then. So you could do like a variant cover offer 1 year later, and it would raise another 6K or something, or more. But it's like
Yeah.
the demand grows if it's sitting there not selling.
Yeah, that's kind of I mean, I can't get into too much right now, but that's kind of the plan. We're hoping like the print run that we're doing now is going to be the print run. Like when we launch The Gods Fear Me in August, there's not going to be a tier where you can get that and Samurai. It's just going to be that book. But if we get to do a sequel to Samurai next year, that's when I might think about doing a reprint tier for the first volume.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Back to the drawing board says, "Wow, never wanted to be a werewolf before. Definitely don't want to now." Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
beware the wolf's milk.
yeah. Macho Dan says, "Dang, super backer, very cool, man. Make sure you spread that link around. Always enjoy a review." Chris Evans says, "An instant of discomfort for a lifetime of power, brother." You can also consume the milk of the wolf daily to attain T levels higher than you should imagine.
You let me know how that goes for you.
Star Storyteller says, make sure merch is on black or gray shirts. That's a good point.
Yes,
Starcast Network says, I do Macho every campaign I tweet and retweet. Samurai and Dinosaurs was backed by us Saturday. Nice. That's awesome. So
that's
yeah, I
awesome.
do got a
Thank you.
backer there. I've been following this drama since Gamergate, but only started my channel about a month ago. Yeah, there is like a little bit of overlap with Gamergate. Gamergate was weird. I kind of missed it, and I found out about it later, and then I was like, oh, it seems like well, maybe it's just the benefit of hindsight, but it's like it seems like one side is reasonable and the other side's ridiculous, and that's kind of how I got introduced to SJWs.
Yeah, I lived through Gamergate as a video game journalist, and in a lot of ways, that's kind of what set me down the path of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I remember some things too, like it may be a little bit delayed, but I remember, um, well, a little bit of what like Phil Fish. You guys remember him? Like
Yep.
he was kind of what do you call it, virtue signaling pretty hard and kept doubling and tripling down. And then who's the guy who I honestly like his games a lot, but he was being a dick. Uh he's the guy who did like Full Throttle and Day of the Tentacle.
Oh, Tim Schafer.
Yeah, Tim Schafer. I think he's based in Portland too, maybe, or he might be in the area, Oregon or something.
He's in Double Fine is located in SF. That's his
Okay.
company.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's his new company. He left LucasArts years ago to do Double Fine.
Right.
But he kind of, yeah, it does the virtue signaling weird thing where he'll throw vast swaths of people under the bus just to get a PP touch kind of thing. It's like it's like cringy, you know. I think he was kind of early on the boat with where like the Tumblr art, like bad art design, I thought kind of was coming in because it was like insular, like maybe SJWs, but kind of just like maybe girls in art school all drawing each other's style. And it became this weird style that they weren't that into much into appeal. So they were drawing kind of ugly stuff, I thought. And he hired
What
that style for his game. I don't know, the Dream one. It's like a platformer where you run around and you go into people's brains and run around in their dreams. Came out for PS2. Anyway, it's not terribly important, but basically it had, I thought, not the greatest art design. It was kind of a little bit of a sign of things to come. A little bit loosely related to wanting PP touches.
now?
My
Did all of those artists move to Marvel?
Yeah, they must have. And they'll defend each other to the death, you know. So like even what I just said, even though it's like broad and not attacking anyone particularly, you know, I could be blacklisted. I've already been kind of blacklisted.
my almost interaction with Tim Schafer was Selena and I. One of the first shows that we did was in 2007 at in San Francisco. The convention's called Ape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, of course, you know, because he's like trying to look for talent to recruit. Like, there's Tim Schafer and like an assistant, and he was literally just walking past every single table, and he walked past ours, and his assistant was like, his assistant was like, well, you know, like, and this was all whispering, like they weren't yelling it out to us, but still. She was like, "Well, you know, Latin female creator," and he was like, "Too regular." And I was like, "All right, thanks a lot, Dick."
No way. So that's so blatant about the like the racism that they hired just to get the identity going, you know? And it
Yes.
also means that they're really into it and not self-aware at all. And his reaction within that is quite like actually, you know, offensive or you know.
Yeah.
That's quite offensive.
Yeah. But that's funny. Yeah, so that's like the brain disease, you know? You get that identity politics brain disease and then it really does flip your world upside down where you're accusing
Well, it
people of being racist, but you're the one who's racist, all that stuff.
yeah, it does run pretty deep there in SF, to be fair.
Yeah, people, it's hard to resist it. Like you get accidentally brainwashed. But yeah, you can get red pilled and pop out of it. That's like there's like yeah, like Comiskate's so diverse, but we don't buy their shit. You know, that's kind of one thing that ties us together, right?
Right.
And the thing too is like I still think I'd welcome. Like I was talking earlier on the stream, there was a girl I was streaming with once in a while, this New York artist, and it's possibly a way to grow my channel just to have this hot girl come on. So I kind of like, and I had a little internet crush on her, you know. But she's kind of, I could tell she's kind of, you know, liberal to the point where it's like hot lava if I accidentally say anything. Like even what like some of this, like if I say something like Phil Fish, it was a little wanted a PP touch was a little D bag or whatever, then
Mhm.
she would hate that probably, or if she'd look into it. So who
Well,
knows?
that could make for good broadcasting.
That's what I was just thinking.
Oh, to like make a hot girl angry.
Well, just the banner back and forth, because you have the
Yeah.
gift of gab, sir. You can carry
Yeah,
a
that sounds like a
conversation.
great conversation, man.
Yeah, well maybe I did message her, but she's been off Twitter recently. So if I
Hey,
get her back on again, I'll let you guys know. But she's really hot.
my motto is try anything once,
Yeah,
Anything?
pretty much.
especially wolf's milk.
I actually will not. No, that's the one thing I will not touch. I will not touch the wolf's milk.
Yeah. Let me see.
Hey,
Oh,
what were you guys talking about when I first got in here? That Nick said something. He was like, "Ask me when I get in."
oh, that you guys are starting a channel maybe or a little collective to do interviews and stuff.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Tell us
Yeah,
about that.
so we're having our the official first episode is this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and it's me, Starcasp in the chat there, Jason Starr, Tinfoil Hat Nick, and Simon Sympathier. We're all kind of getting together, and it's called Doodle and Chill, and basically it's going to be kind of interactive where Simon's he'll be doing some warm-up art and taking like requests from the chat, you know, kind of like lightning sketches. We're gonna have other artists come on and kind of do the same thing, you know, promote books. It's also going to be a rotating show, so it'll be on a different channel mostly every week. So we'll be promoting people's channels as well as artists and Indiegogos, and basically having a good time. You know, drama free, just hanging out, talking shop, talking about comics. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That sounds awesome. Star Storyteller says, I am so scared that my style is influenced by Tumblr. Star Storyteller, she did the 24-hour Comicsgate Jam. So I can tell you, it's not really, I don't think at all. And because you have appeal. So appeal is one of the animation principles that's the most important. And that's the one that SJWs threw out the door right away. They start drawing things ugly. Like who's the girl who draws Squirrel Girl, you know? It's like,
Erica something.
yeah, so it's like this has been said before, but she's actually a good artist, but she deliberately draws them ugly, and it's like, why are you doing that?
Right.
And it's not even like she can draw her style, but for example, the really tiny pupils that make them look like they have Down syndrome, like you don't like that's low appeal.
Isn't
Hey,
she the
Narwhal.
one who drew Down syndrome Vampirella?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, yes, it was.
And Xena.
Yeah.
Vampirella.
And there was some talk, like I saw a funny, I didn't quite get it. It was on the page and it said like, I prefer my old costume. Why retcon a classic, I say. And it was Vampirella. But she was they redesigned her costume to have her wear short shorts instead of a thong, you know?
Right.
So I was like, you're lying. You did redesign it.
Yeah, definitely redesigned that face.
Yep. Redesigned those pupils.
That forehead.
Yeah.
The forehead and the
Narwhal.
eyes, that's what really did it.
Yeah.
Hey, Narwhal, man.
Yeah.
I got a few things to take care of before that stream at 7, so I got to bounce.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining.
Oh,
guys, we'll just go
hey.
another 10 minutes here. I'm going to wrap up too, I think. But yeah, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Hey, I believe the stream was postponed to tomorrow night.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I guess Brendan had something come up. He sent a message out a little while ago, right before I got in.
Okay, well, then I can ride this one out.
Oh, nice. Well, cool. Well, we're at an hour and a half and we're approaching 7. So we'll go like another 10 minutes or so. I want to catch up with the chat. And, but I was going to say, Adam, I like the idea of, like a little bit more curated, the interviews or the plans for that channel to be a little more organized. That could be fun. And within that, you can still get goofy and weird, I'm sure. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah, because
sounds like
like I
a
said,
really cool idea.
we want to really like get the chat involved. Simon even talked about having writers come on also with artists and do speed writing and drawing challenges. Just really keeping it fun. And
Nice.
then I brought this up a little bit last weekend on my show, Mike. I think you'll probably remember, but I want to try to also get something together that highlights Indiegogo's campaigns that either didn't make it the first time or made it, but just by the skin of their teeth,
Right,
and
right.
and try to help them retool for their next campaign and hopefully get them off to a better launch than the first one.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah, because I mean it's we talked about a lot of these bigger channels. These guys have other things to do than to really kind of help out the little guy. And we don't want the little guys to feel like they're being overshadowed or neglected, by bigger channels. So, we just want to help. I mean, we've seen enough of these campaigns succeed. We know what it takes for a campaign to succeed. And I really think that we can really help some of these people out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, that idea of kind of centralizing some of the smaller channels more and more, that we can like make a dent in campaigns, help campaigns get funded a little bit independent of the bigger channels. And that will
Yes.
grow the smaller channels too, so
Exactly, and that's why we decided that this one's going to be a rotating show. So we start on my channel, then we'll go probably to Star's channel, get Nick's in there, Simon's in there, anybody else who needs a little signal boost. It's all about getting back and helping each other out and get back to the community of things.
yeah, nice. Joe Lugo says, down Urella. Falling Into says, I had a phone call, but I'm back. LOL. Riot Kitty says, hi, Red Gaze. What's up, Riot Kitty? Joe Lugo says,
Right,
she,
Kitty.
she looks like Mrs. Swan from Mad TV. That's funny. Riot Kitty said, just came in to say hi. Straight up. Yeah, shoot. What was I going to say? I kind of forget. We're sort of wrapping up. But everyone check out Samurai and Dinosaurs. That's like a big part of it. And I was gonna say I got a quick story for you guys. So I went to Emerald City Comic Con like 2 years ago, and it was the last, maybe 3 years ago even, but it was the last time I decided I'm ever gonna go because it was so busy. And I had printed out some books and I gave them to like 10 different people, 10 different companies and artists, and to network or whatever. And these are good books, like Earthbound, the first issue of that, and some other books. And I didn't really hear from anyone. It's kind of like confirmed that maybe I'm blacklisted, or they're doing that thing where they're so into identity politics that they take one look at me and they're like, nope, not interesting enough.
Right,
Whatever.
right.
So, but I was there and I walked by, I brushed by like this person, and I sensed like an aura, and I did a double take and looked, and it was Zoe Quinn. So I just walked by her, and she was walking in a very regal sense. And so she could be like
she was.
Yeah, she could be like a supervillain, but she definitely has an aura. She has like that Tom Cruise aura, She probably got it because she's been in front of, she's fairly famous at this point, so she's like full of herself. But I don't know if that creates the aura. But the aura is, it's fairly impressive. She went in front of the UN and stuff. I don't know if that gives you an aura. Maybe I want an aura. I'm going to go in front of the UN, tell them that I got harassed.
They spray it on you when you walk through the doors.
Yeah.
Now, do you think she does her own stunts?
Yeah, it could be just someone in a silver wig.
It's Tom Cruise in a silver wig.
That's where the aura comes from.
There you go.
Hire out my aura. He puts out an ad in Craigslist once his career goes downhill. Well, I don't have much, but I do have an aura. Anyone in need of my aura? Zoe Quinn's like, I need an aura. I'm going to walk around this really crowded Comic Con. I just want people
at least people then know, just to get out of the way. Like, oh God, there's Zoe Quinn. Move, just move.
Yeah. Maybe her aura is just a constant fart.
Crotch stench.
Ooh, there was a girl in my high school that had that issue. She tried to sit at our lunch table a couple times.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Right. Yeah. Oh no is right.
Falling Into says Aura, the next fragrance by Narwhal after Garlic. That's funny. Cool. Well, so guys, we got 15 people watching. Thanks so much for joining. We probably will wrap this up. We could go a little longer, but I got to get some dinner too. I've had a weird schedule lately. I've been sleeping and staying up kind of at night and working in the evenings and stuff. But so it's, I don't know if it's breakfast or dinner for me, but I got to eat a little bit of food.
Wait, did you say lately? You've always had a weird schedule, man.
Yeah, but it goes through phases, and I enjoy phases when it's normal. But also, it's almost like if you move to Texas in the winter and Portland in the summer, like billionaires do that. I go half the time I'm awake at night, half the time I'm awake in the day. And,
Minus the billions.
yeah, and I'm
Well,
poor.
he's working on it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what we're all trying to do. We're all hustling, and a big part of making a little money is growing a platform, YouTube channel, all that. Selling our souls, we're okay with that. You know, someone, I forget who said this, but there's like, you get hurted by your audience to some degree, and I think, you know, that's kind of okay. There's like a YouTube thing, like obviously like negativity is rewarded a little more than positivity, but you can make it fun if it's fun trash talk, if it's kayfabe, that kind of stuff. Like Michael Beacon's SJW Skeletor. Everyone check that out.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I sold my soul for comic books a long time ago.
yeah. See, it's I'd sell a soul or two, my one, someone else's too, maybe. I was a soul dealer. But my soul's in danger because of that closet behind me. I gotta watch out.
I was gonna say, I thought I just saw that door move a little bit.
I was thinking the same fucking thing when he just had his screen on. I was like, that door just moved.
You guys are creeping me out. All right. I'm going to end the stream though, but yeah. So everyone remember it's the final push. Samurai Dinosaurs, it'll be open for like another month, but that's the final push to get the artists hired for the gallery. So everyone, try and give it a shout out on Twitter, retweet it and stuff. Let's do a little push. And then sub my channel, sub Brad Gaze's channel, sub Mike Miller's channel, sub Adam AF's channel on YouTube, everyone here. And Michael Beacon in the chat, a few others. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. We'll do this again in a week, if not sooner. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Thanks so much, man. Later.
All right,
Cool bean.
see you guys.
Appreciate it.